Guys, and what is up? TML here. In today's quick video, I'm going to be basically talking about the iPhone 7, when it's going to get released, and a couple of rumors, and even some leaked pictures that have been emerging from a lot of Chinese factories. So without further ado, let's get started with today's video. Now, Apple's iPhone 7, or in fact, most of the iPhones that Apple do sell get announced in the last quarter of the year, which tends to be September time. Now, Apple do this in a three-step process: the announcement, the pre-order dates, and then the actual official release. For example, Apple released the iPhone on the 6th or 9th of September, which is quite common for them to do because they have done it in the past. That will be the announcement date. It will not be the official release date, so they'll just announce it, let everyone know that it's coming. That will be in the first week of September normally, and then a couple of days after, or maybe on the actual date itself, you'll be able to pre-order the iPhone, so that's part 2. And then finally, a week or two after the whole event, you'll have that official release date, which will mean they'll be available in stores for you to actually pick up and buy yourself. Apple's 2016 release date for the new iPhone 7, Evan Blass, which is a famous leaker, he has leaked a couple of Apple's things before, tweeted out that the 2016 iPhone's release date will happen in this week of September the 12th. Now, this is the actual release, not the announcement or the keynote. The keynote's going to happen earlier, and so the pre-orders. He also said that the pre-orders would happen on the 9th, and if you think about it, it's going the 12th, the 9th, it's kind of going in the 3 times tables, so counted back 3 days, just did a bit of simple math, and I'm kind of guessing that it's going to happen on the 6th, so 6th of September is probably when they're going to announce it, according to this guy's theory. So if it's according to that, I kind of think that it's going to happen on the 6th, the keynote, where they actually announce the iPhone 7, and yeah, iPhone 7 will be released on the 6th, which is kind of clever because Apple's back to school offer finishes or expires on the 5th, so they literally give you a day to decide whether you want the older iPhone 6s at the normal price, but with the free Beats headphones, the Beats Power Beats 2 I think, or whether you want to wait for the iPhone 7 or get the iPhone 6s at a discounted price. So that's a bit of a confusing or a debatable matter. I'm going to be talking about that in my next video, so if you want to see that and want to see more good content about Apple or in general tech, make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys, so you don't miss out on any good content that's going to be coming up. Okay, so next I'm going to be talking about the iPhone 7 rumors, what's been going around. So a couple of months ago, when the full rumors on the new iPhone or the next iPhone was actually getting released, there were 3 models: the iPhone 7, the iPhone 7 Plus, and then the iPhone 7 Pro. Now, the reason behind the 3 models was there was a lot of speculation about being a dual camera setup in the Pro version. There was a whole thing about the headphone jack getting removed, then apparently not getting removed, then now it's apparently getting removed. The whole thing about that was very unsure, is a bit sketchy. So the iPhone 7, actually now the rumors are actually suggesting that the normal 7 model will have the headphone jack, but then the Plus model, maybe the Pro, I think the Pro was a thing at the beginning, but now as we're getting closer and closer towards the event, it just looks like there's going to be an iPhone 7 and an iPhone 7 Plus. Now the Plus model is speculated to have the dual camera setup, as well as the no headphone jack, and it's just going to have 2 speakers at the bottom instead of a speaker and then an input, whereas the normal 7, which is just a normal 4.7 inch iPhone, will have the headphone input and just 1 camera. It is also suggested that the iPhone 7 is going to have those 3 little circles that were on the back of the iPad Pros at the beginning of this year, which are known as smart connectors. So we don't know what that's actually for yet. What it was used for the iPad was for the actual keyboard, to turn your iPad Pro, the big version, into like a laptop type interface, because you could connect the keyboard, Apple's own brand. And basically for the iPhone, I don't really see that happening, because you can't have an iPhone this big and then a keyboard, it wouldn't work. So The only other thing that this kind of suggests is wireless charging. Samsung have done this before, and props to them because they've done a really good job. Apple are a little bit slow on this game. I'm not sure what they're doing. They should have had wireless charging a while ago, so they're quite slow. Also, the iPhone 7 normally, or the iPhone lineup actually gets refreshed physically every second model. So the iPhone 4, 5, 6 and 7. And then when it comes to the S models like the iPhone 6s, the S models are normally just an upgrade in terms of the internals, whereas the actual number increase actually suggests a whole overhaul in the physical looks and the internal department. So we're on the 7, which means, yep, a whole new look to the iPhone. So basically what the new iPhone 7 will look like from the shells that we've been given from a lot of Chinese laboratories and factories and all sorts, is that the antenna bands, or the little strips at the top, there won't be a massive strip under the camera. It'll just be going round the top and round the bottom. So it's gonna be it's gonna look a lot cleaner. Yeah, just to sort of give it a new look. And obviously this will mean that the antenna bands aren't as easy to notice. So yeah, just giving the phone a new look. Moving on to the dual camera setup. This again is going to be huge. It's going to look very bulky on your iPhone, as well as the normal camera setup. So what I mean by this is the actual sensor in the camera is going to get a huge upgrade. It's going to be a bit bigger, which means it's going to stick out obviously, which is a bit of a shame. But if you have a case, I don't think that's going to matter. What this means is that this doesn't actually mean that the megapixel count was going to go up, so it might still stay at 12, but obviously expect the image quality to go up, and expect the low light capabilities to go up as well, because it will have a bigger sensor, which means the size of the pixels will also increase. And apart from that, everything else in the iPhone is expected to stay the same. Physically, what I mean by this is, so the buttons will stay the same. They'll be on the same sides, even the power button on the right, and then the volume. So everything else should be the same. And another interesting little rumor that I found out literally a couple of days before making this video was that the Touch ID, or the button that you use at the bottom of your iPhone, might not be there anymore. What I mean by this is that they might get rid of the physical button and might revert to what Android phones have been doing a while now, is having like a little engraved button that you press and then it vibrates, so it gives you a little feedback to let you know that you've pressed something. So there's no physical button, but it's just there. So if Apple do this, that'll be really cool. It'll literally mean that the whole surface of the iPhone would be plain. There wouldn't be any buttons, not even at the bottom. So it might just be a Touch ID, a screen Touch ID button. So that's going to be quite cool to see as well. And like with every rumors video that I make sure you take it with a pinch of salt. Nothing's set in stone. Anything can change from now up to the release date. So there might be some things that we haven't talked about that get released that could be a possible game changer. But yeah, that's a general indication of what the iPhone 7 will be packing. And if you've reached this far to the video, I just want to say thank you so much. And if you know what this picture is that I'm going to be putting on any second now, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll let you know if you're right or wrong. And that pretty much summarizes today's video. So thanks ever so much for watching. And if you do like videos on tech or on Apple, make sure that subscribe button, guys. I've got a lot of videos coming your way. I'm really sure you don't want to miss them. I'll also be doing a comparison between the 7 and the 6S, whether the 7 is actually going to be worth the extra $100 or $200 or pounds, or whether it's just better off getting the 6S. Stay tuned for those. And as always, thanks ever so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. TML out.